Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to discuss how to maximize the World of Hyatt program. Hyatt hotels and their program are fan favorites to many people in the points and miles game. They are consistent with having good quality properties, both on the low end and on the high end, and their rewards program is strong, and if you are loyal to being with their program and staying at their properties, you feel that you do end up getting yourself good value for it. I've loved the stays that I've had at Hyatt hotels, and I know many other people have loved their stays, but I also know that not everyone understands the program as well as I do. So in this video, I'm gonna go over some of the different tips to help you maximize the Hyatt hotel program. Now I'm gonna list off a number of different things that I feel are gonna be useful, but they're not gonna be in any particular order. Some of them might be as simple as just getting yourself the World of Hyatt card. Other ones are gonna be a little bit more advanced, so stick tight for this video, and hopefully I can drop some knowledge on you to help you better understand Hyatt program. So as I just said, one of the simplest things that you can do with Hyatt is sign up, become a Hyatt member, and get yourself the World of Hyatt credit card. Hyatt offers a couple different credit cards, both issued by Chase. They have a personal credit card and the business credit card. I prefer the personal credit card, and that's the one I'm recommending for you to get. The personal credit card automatically grants you Discover status, which isn't that big of a deal, but if you're like myself, who doesn't like to have to pay $6 for a bottle of water while at the hotel, then this can end up coming handy in those situations. Additionally, with this card, you get yourself 4x back when you use it at Hyatt properties. You also get yourself 5x back automatically as being a member for each dollar spent at those properties. And also, since you are granted Discover status for having the card, you get a little bit of additional boost on top of that for your spend at the hotel. So in total, you should be getting yourself at least 9.5% back when you end up using your World of Hyatt credit card for your Hyatt stays. Now, this card has a $95 annual fee, but with every anniversary of keeping this card open, you get yourself a Category 1 to 4 free night award certificate. And I've yet to use my Category 1 to 4 free night award certificate at a property where it was less than double the value of that annual fee. I know it may sound very simple just to get yourself the World of Hyatt credit card to improve your Hyatt stays, but you'd be surprised at how many people like staying at Hyatt hotels that do not have a World of Hyatt credit card. The next way to get yourself a ton of value with the World of Hyatt program is to become a World of Hyatt Globalist. Now, normally, World of Hyatt Globalist takes 60 elite nights to reach Globalist status, which I know can end up being really difficult and most people will not be able to reach that, but there are different ways to be able to reach Globalist without spending 60 elite nights at Hyatt properties throughout the entire year. In the last few years, Hyatt has had many different ways of fast-tracking your way to Globalist. They had it with Bilt Rewards, American Airlines, through corporate challenges, and also just through their program themselves. The first time I reached Globalist was from a fast track directly from Hyatt. During the pandemic, Hyatt had it to where you only had to spend half the amount of nights at Hyatt properties to be able to get yourself Globalist. And on top of that, they also had double elite nights, so you can end up getting Globalist, I believe, for somewhere near like 15 nights. So halfway through the year, I organically got Globalist just from normal stays at Hyatt properties. It was pretty crazy at how easy it was to get yourself Globalist that year. I don't think they're gonna have a fast track the same way as they did a few years ago like that, but they do still have some different fast tracks that are out there that can make it easier to become a Globalist. One of the fast tracks that you should look out for is a corporate challenge with your company. The World of Hyatt will offer a corporate challenge where if you stay 20 nights at a Hyatt property over the course of 90 days, you'll be granted World of Hyatt Globalist. Now, I feel that if you can get this offered to you, you should take advantage of it. If you happen to have natural stays of 20 nights over the course of the next 90 days, or if you happen to have mostly organic stays with maybe a few days of a mattress run, it can make a lot of sense. But if you happen to have no Hyatt stays over the next 90 days and you decide to do a full mattress run of 20 nights, then I don't think that it's worth it because all of those nights that you are doing as that mattress run really does cut into your gains. Although I do find Globalist valuable, I don't think that it's that valuable, especially if you're not gonna be getting yourself the Milestone Awards, which in my opinion are more valuable than even Globalist itself. But if you qualify for the corporate challenge and you end up completing the 20 nights over the course of the 90 days, this is definitely gonna improve your experience with Hyatt properties. Now, say you can't find any fast track to be able to get yourself World of Hyatt Globalist status, well, my next tip would be to try to work yourself up the World of Hyatt Milestone Ladder. And I feel that the sweet spot up the Milestone Ladder that can end up being hard to reach but not unattainable for a lot of people can end up being at 40 elite nights. Now, trust me, I do realize that getting yourself 40 elite nights will end up being tough, but it ends up being a lot more manageable than 60 elite nights. The reason why I find 40 elite nights to be the sweet spot is because the awards that you're gonna be granted as you go up to 40 elite nights is that you're gonna get yourself 2 club access passes, you're gonna get yourself a Category 1 to 4 free night award certificate, you're gonna get yourself a Guest of Honor award booking and also a Suite Upgrade award certificate. Now, technically, you have other options to choose different awards, but chances are these are gonna be the awards that you're gonna end up choosing because these are the most valuable, unless you already happen to have status where you may not end up choosing the club awards. You may end up going instead with like the 2K awards for each time you stay at a Hyatt place or a Hyatt house. But if you just happen to be climbing up the Milestone Ladder, chances are these awards that I'm naming are gonna be the one that you're gonna end up choosing. Getting all of these awards can end up giving you massive value. The category 1 to 4 free night award certificate will probably end up giving you somewhere near about $300 in value for a Hyatt stay. And then when you end up looking at something like the Guest of Honor award booking and also the Suite Upgrade award certificate, both of these can end up giving you even more value. Now, one thing that is annoying about the World of Hyatt program is that you can't combine these different awards for the same stay. So for example, if you happen to have the 1 in 4 free night award certificate and you also want to add in the Guest of Honor award booking to that stay, well, unfortunately, you can't combine those two. But with the Guest of Honor award, you can give someone Globalist and you're allowed to give it to yourself for up to 7 nights on one stay. The reason why I find the 40 Elite Night milestone to be the sweet spot when it comes to climbing up Hyatt's status ladder is because I don't believe that most people are going to be doing more than 2 extended stays at hotels throughout the year. And for context, what I mean by extended stays is more than 4 nights at one time. The rest of the stays are going to be either a couple of nights or 3 nights for a long weekend. If you end up reaching the 40 Elite Night milestone and you only have 2 extended stays planned out for the entire year, then this works out perfectly, because you can use your Suite Upgrade award certificate for one of those stays and your Guest of Honor award certificate for the other stay. Now, not everyone is gonna value these different awards at the same price. I find the Suite Upgrade award to be more valuable than the Guest of Honor award. I do believe that the Guest of Honor award has the potential of being more valuable if you do end up just getting upgraded to a suite, but on average, I do think that the Suite Upgrade award is going to end up being more valuable than the Guest of Honor award. Like, I would put the Suite Upgrade award certificate somewhere along the lines of the value of like 30,000 World of Hyatt points to 35,000 World of Hyatt points. Whereas when it comes to the Guest of Honor award certificate, I feel like that one is more of a roll the dice, and also it comes down to how you are traveling. If you happen to be traveling with another person to get free breakfast for 2 different people, if you happen to be driving to the location and you're looking to get yourself free parking, if you happen to be paying for your stay and it happens to be at a resort to get yourself the resort fees waived, there ends up being a lot of different factors to when it comes to what type of value you're gonna get for your Guest of Honor award. Now, reaching 30 elite nights, I don't believe is ultra difficult for people who like to travel and also like to travel into major cities. The World of Hyatt credit card has a few additional tricks to help you be able to reach this status. So automatically from having the card, you get yourself 5 elite nights added into your account, but also for every $5,000 you spend with the card, you get yourself 2 elite nights. Now, if you end up spending $15,000 on this card, you're gonna get yourself a category 1 to 4 free night award certificate, and also it's gonna end up being those 6 elite nights for $5,000 spent up to that $15,000. So for having the card, you get yourself 5 elite nights, and then for that $15,000 spend, you're gonna get yourself another 6 elite nights, equaling out to 11 elite nights, and taking 19 more elite nights throughout the entire year to be able to get yourself to 30 elite nights. And when you do end up reaching 30 elite nights, you get yourself another 1 to 4 category free night award certificate. So if you end up reaching 30 elite nights and also spending $15,000 on the card, you're gonna have 3 free night award certificates to be able to use throughout the year. Because you're gonna have one given to you for reaching 30 elite nights, another one given to you for having $15,000 spent on the card, and then the third one given to you for having the card and paying the annual fee on the card. And also at 30 elite nights, you're gonna be given Explorer status. Now, Explorer status isn't incredibly valuable, but it still has the potential to give you upgrades. So I do feel that if you end up reaching 30 elite nights, you are gonna get yourself some good value from doing that. But 40 elite nights is where you're gonna really start seeing some savings and also the luxury kick in. The next tip is gonna be to rebook your hotel stay when the price drops, and this can end up being for paid stays or for award stays. This is something that I feel that people either just don't do or forget that they have the ability to be able to do. This is something that I did for my trip out to Paris, where I stayed at the Hyatt Regency in Paris, and when I originally went to go book my room, the only rooms that they had available were the club rooms, which ends up being more expensive with how many points they are asking for. Now, since I already am a globalist, I don't need to get myself a club room because I already get access to club lounges at Hyatt properties. So this would end up being a waste of additional points for me to book these rooms as compared to just a standard room. But there were no standard rooms available at the time. And since I knew I wanted to stay at this property, I just ended up booking these club rooms and checking back with Hyatt's websites to see if the regular standard rooms ended up ever becoming available. Now, always check the cancellation policy when you are going to be doing this trick, because this can determine whether or not you can take advantage of trying to rebook for a cheaper price. Because for myself, when I was doing this, I had 24 hours before my stay when I was allowed to cancel. So this worked out really well for me, because unless I accidentally didn't cancel until a few hours before I arrived, or I just forgot to cancel at all, there really wasn't any penalty to me. And about 2 weeks before I went over to Paris, the standard rooms opened up at this hotel. And not only did standard rooms open up at this hotel, they opened up as off-peak pricing. So although I would have stayed in those club rooms if no other thing opened up, fortunately for me, I was able to book these standard, mostly off-peak price award rooms, which ended up saving me about close to half the amount of points that I ended up booking for this entire stay. So the tip here is to keep on checking back with the hotel to see if award availability is opening up for what you're looking for. Because sometimes the room may end up not being available for what you want, or there may not be any rooms available at all, but that doesn't mean that just because that they aren't available when you first start looking, that they're not going to open up by the time you end up looking to travel. There are websites out there where you can pay to set yourself up alerts, so you don't have to keep on going either to Hyatt's app or website day after day. And a couple of the ones that I know that can be pretty useful to people are going to be rooms.arrow and also Max My Point. The next tip I have are going to be for people who want to make this stay with Hyatt to be even more special by getting themselves a room upgrade, even though they don't happen to have a suite upgrade award certificate. And the way to end up doing this is going to be by doing cash plus points. Now, there's going to be a few different ways of doing cash plus point stays. If you just end up doing a combination of cash and points for your stay, then it typically doesn't end up being a very good deal. But what I'm talking about is by doing a standard room with cash and then seeing if there is a room upgrade to use points for, either for a standard suite or for a premium suite. Because if you end up doing it where you pay for the standard room and then just use points for an upgrade for a suite, the upgrades for suites are only going to be 6,000 points for a standard suite and then 9,000 points for a premium suite. This can end up being really good pricing, because say you happen to see a Category 5 hotel that costs 20,000 points a night, and also you end up seeing a premium suite available, it's going to end up costing you 40,000 points to be able to book that premium suite. But if you can end up doing cash plus a points upgrade for a suite, then what it end up being would end up being the cash fare and then only 9,000 additional points for that premium suite. So instead of it being 20,000 points additional for the suite, it ends up being 9,000 points. So depending on which property you choose, and if you can end up getting yourself a low cash fare for the standard room, you can end up getting some really good deals. Now, unfortunately, I've noticed that this option isn't offered at every single Hyatt property, but one of the properties that I have noticed that it is offered at, where it can end up being a good deal, is going to be the Grand Hyatt at Kuala Lumpur, because at this property, if you were looking to get yourself a 9,000 point premium suite, which ends up being the Grand Executive Suite, this ends up costing close to about $1,000 a night, whereas the normal standard room will typically cost somewhere near about $200 a night. So you're going to get yourself for 9,000 points, an additional $800 worth of value when it comes to the type of hotel room you're going to be getting. So for those people who are super fixated on getting themselves the highest cent per point, well, I don't think that there is a better option to consistently get yourself a higher cent per point value than this option with your World of Hyatt points. The next tip I have is for people who want to be treated like an elite, but don't want to go through all the hassle of getting all of those elite nights. And this is going to be for paid stays with HyattPriv. I never know if it's pronounced Hyatt's Privé or Privé. I've heard people say it different ways. I'm just going to say Privé for the rest of the video. When you book with HyattPriv, you get very similar benefits as being a Globalist. You get complimentary room upgrades, daily breakfast for two, a property credit, a welcome amenity, early check-in if available, and also late checkout. Now, this isn't as many benefits as you get as being a Globalist, but for many people, this is all they're really looking for. But I have noticed that so many people want to have themselves status, whether it be airline status or hotel status. But the thing is, there are tricks like HyattPriv where you don't need to go through all the hoops of getting yourself status, but still be able to get many of the benefits of status. But I do think that there are some people out there that for them, telling some of their friends that they have a certain level of status is more important than the benefits they end up getting from actually having that status. The next tip is going to be to register for these Hyatt promotions. You probably end up getting emails from Hyatt that's telling you that they have a certain promotion click on that email and register for it because it can end up being an easy way to get yourself a bunch of points or additional elite nights. And just because you register for whatever the promotion is, doesn't mean you need to change your travel habits. In many instances, you can already have bookings planned out to where just from completing your bookings that you already have planned, you're gonna end up getting yourself additional points. I already had a few trips planned earlier this year where Hyatt added in a promotion of giving you 3,000 points for every 3 nights you stayed. So just from taking those trips, Hyatt gave me thousands of points. When I went to Nashville in July, I was looking at different Hyatt properties that I was thinking about staying at, and then the one that I noticed that I had the cheapest price was the Dreams Hotel. And also I noticed that Hyatt had a promotion where if you stayed at a Dreams Hotel, you're gonna get yourself an additional elite night for every single night that you stayed there. So I didn't need to change which city or where exactly I was gonna be staying. This was already a property that I was looking at staying at, and from staying there, I was able to get myself additional elite nights. It was the cheapest option, and they gave me a suite upgrade. I very much enjoyed the Dreams Hotel in Nashville. And the final tip that I'm gonna give in this video is gonna be to earn transferable points that you can transfer over to your World of Hyatt account. Now, even though something like the World of Hyatt credit card can end up being good, well, getting yourself one of these Sapphire cards can end up being stronger, and those points can transfer over to your World of Hyatt account. And typically, the welcome offers for these Sapphire cards are a lot stronger than the personal Hyatt credit card. And also, the multipliers on these Sapphire cards and some of the Chase Freedom cards are going to be better used for day-to-day spend to rack you up more points than what you'd end up getting from the World of Hyatt credit card, excluding for Hyatt stays. Now, Hyatt's business credit card sometimes has a pretty high welcome offer, but it typically isn't greater than any of the Ink cards. So even though you may love to stay at Hyatt properties, if you're in the market for a new card, I would look at getting either one of the Ink cards or one of the Sapphire cards before I looked at getting one of the Hyatt cards. Now, this doesn't mean to avoid getting yourself Hyatt cards. I still recommend getting them, but if you are a fan of staying at Hyatt properties, then Chase credit cards are gonna be your friend. And also, Bilt Rewards will end up being your friend because the World of Hyatt is a transfer partner of Bilt Rewards. Most people can rack up points a lot quicker with getting themselves Chase cards versus just getting themselves Hyatt cards. And if you end up racking up a ton of points, you can stay at some of the most luxurious properties around the world for what I consider to be a very reasonable amount of points. But those are my tips for the World of Hyatt program. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comment section down below. Are you a fan of Hyatt properties, and what is your favorite Hyatt property that you stayed at? Now, if you happen to be interested in any cards, check out my description box to learn more. If you do decide to use my link, it does really help out the channel, and I'll be incredibly thankful for your support. If you happen to have any questions about the World of Hyatt program, also drop that down in the comment section down below. I'll do the best I can to answer it. And if you happen to really like this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this video, and have a beautiful rest of your day.